Hi, my name is Noshad. Some of you guys know me, Brom. Spurs video podcast. There's a lot of comments yesterday about my West Brom, parking their coach. So to respond to each one by one. P. John, he says, I don't agree with you that Jake didn't do anything of notice. After he left, it was like we're down to 10 men. Nika can't play in the middle. B8, Benny was our left best player. Overall best player is Rafa Younes. Rafa did defend. Hope, give him time off now. Everton might be able to part of the bus the same way as West Bromwich Albion. First of all, I probably did Jake Livermore disservice, but it's a lot to ask to give, him to take on the mantle of that. It's held by Parker and Sandra. It's a lot to ask of the 21-year-old player. And Nico is not good in the middle, but it would have been either, I don't know, Danny Rose. So we had left. I'd rather have Nico than Danny Rose in there. Basically we're down to the bare bones. It was Giovanni, Pav, can't remember who else. I think just because of injuries, it just made it very, very difficult. If Gallas hadn't gone off, I think Cabal would have shifted there. Then we could have brought on Basson, but just because of that, I think. But I do. Rafa, put his foot in. He's not always going to put his foot in, and there will be moments. But he did put his foot in. And I thought Cabal was a colossus at the back, definitely. Major Hank, quite a few comments. First one, I think we did very well today. 70% possession, and they better attempts on goal. And, they parked every man bar, and Wingy. It's hard to break down. We shot some many players, but said 10 minutes in there, but it's hard to get through. Not on the inside will be as organised. Hard to break down as that. And that's why I think Everton, even if they try that, they won't be able to do it as well at West Bromwich Albion. I think Everton are well organised. They're well drilled, but they're not as. I don't think they're as well drilled as organised as say West Brom will be. And I think because that's the way West Brom do tend to play that way. They are very well drilled. They don't play that expansive game that they were playing under Di Matteo, because that causing problems. They play very, very tight, very close, very, very rigid. And I think Everton will play a similar game. Obviously, they'll want to play a little bit. Neville's done very well against Bale. It'll be interesting to see how Bale responds to that. Sandro's a little bit off the pace. He obviously not going forward. Lives did well, and he's saying that. As the guy mentioned below, he went sort of went off to pot. He went off to pot. Again, you'd like to see Harry give him some time. Sandra's Parker's absence, not stick Cabal, someone else in there. I think he will play Livermore just because Cabal, in King's absence, is our best defender. I think if we absolutely have to, we'll play Cabal. But I think Livermore is the man to play there, and I think that's the only way he'll learn, and he'll either sink or swim. I think the best example is Corker, last season's League Cup. Didn't have a fantastic game, obviously very inexperienced, very green. Now he's playing in the Premiership week in, week out. Not for the greatest side in the world, but a very good footballing side that likes to play. Therefore, he has to play football as well. And they're probably not the most miserly home record, so I think he's a big part of that. There again, he talks about Friedel didn't come off his line a few times. I did notice that. Some of you guys have pointed that out, and I did notice. I think he does leave it to his defence. I think if you've got a rock like Cabal, you're more likely to leave it to him. It ebbs and flows. Maybe they've got understanding. Maybe that's the way Cabal likes to play. So I don't know. Because I don't remember Friedel being that kind of goalkeeper that would climb to the air and do it. Because I don't remember many howlers behind him. And I think that's the way he likes to play. And I think we need to play to his strengths. We did look tired, as he agrees. But Rafa and Benny played well. And it's a great job from JD. Yeah, it was. 4 people crowding around him. You throw as much quantity as you can. That little bit of quality can sometimes, just for a second, over trump that quantity. We parked the whole bus, and they naturally attacked, and then they scored, and then Gallas is injured. They wouldn't put the ball out, carried on playing, and when they did notice, trying to through ball, send for Odin Wingy. It was a disgrace, as Gallas was clearly injured. Yes, that probably was a little bit nasty, and you know what? I've seen players go down. I remember England, Portugal, a lot of players went down. And the Portuguese players, and they're running around, so they put the ball out, and suddenly, a minute later, they're cured. And I'm not saying Gallas is like that, obviously he was injured, but I think, especially if you're a team that you need to every points wins, I can understand why West Brom. I don't think it's right. But then again, if we had done the same thing, if we got a goal out of it, say we're losing and we do it, we're at level and we do it. Do you know what I mean? Can you blame us? I think at the end of the season, that's what results, what matters, points, and no one cares how you got them, unfortunately. Again, he talks about the 4-4-2. Playing 4-4-2 is a disaster because we can't really stretch them. Yeah, without doubt, I agree with you on that. It is very, very difficult to play. But I think without Parker there, and he didn't feel confident playing Livermore and Sandro as holding midfielders. And without, if you're Bale and, when you have two wingers, very quick, it stretches. If you only got one, they'll shift to that one side. It's a pendulum. If you go to the other side, then they'll shift that way. It is extremely difficult. Van der Vaart is always going to cut inside. But that's, right now, the injuries. He's not playing Pienaar, and he's not playing Nico on the right. So I don't know what other situation we've got there. He talks about players we should be looking to sign. We should try and get some backup. Hoylett. I've seen the guy. He looks good. He's a kid though. He's 19, 20. So a lot of pressure on him. Sometimes when you go to a big club, a lot of pressure. He comes for like 6-7 million. That's gonna be a lot of pressure. How does he adapt? He'll either do very, very well, a la Ashley Young, or he'll go into a shell and do really badly. I haven't seen Shaqiri play. I think Shaqiri's the one who plays for Young Boys, the one Swiss team. I forgot their name now. The one that knocked out Man United. My reasoning is they won't sell him until they're out of the Champions League, and obviously that won't until say February or March. So therefore, I don't see that happening in this transfer window. So I don't think that's going to happen. Again, that was the original YouTube name. He then talks about, and Martin talks about the 4-4-2 as well. He then talks about Kabul. He's become great. He is. He's leaps and bounds colossus. He doesn't yet know that I think the geometry of defending, the angles, the reading of the game, it's not there yet. Positioning, I think sometimes you can get a play coming in between the two, and then sometimes strikers have got good movement. I think he has to learn to figure out how to play against that. But he was colossus. I wouldn't call him our Vidic because I don't think he's as good as Vidic yet. But I think, given his age, given the time, I think he will become that. Again, no one said that, but original Martinez says, look, no one said that in particular. Made some quality tackle. Sandro's good from 2.5. Yeah, and Adebayo, I think he had a decent game. There was one moment that he almost got a 1-2 guy, but Billy Jones just got his foot in. It's so difficult. It's simple margin. It's so tight at this level, especially when you're playing 10 men behind the ball to get any kind of space. It happens sometimes. I think Adebayo had a terrible game. I mean, in my thing, if they look at it, apart from scoring, which sounds stupid, what did Jermaine Defoe do game? He didn't do a huge amount. And that's what he does for a minute. And I think the problem is you need a player to do more. You need him to create runs, to work the channels, to pull defenders out of position. And he doesn't do that yet because they know that once he gets back to goal, back, turn, spin, shoot, his first touch isn't good enough to do the Zola and bring past players or cause players to tackle or something. And I think if we can get a little bit more quality than Defoe, Defoe's got great quality, we need a little bit better with a bit of first touch, the ability to really spin defender, get behind him, and then say, look, that guy, he makes it easy for him to shoot, and B, the player has to foul to get, to win the ball or get the tackle and risk the penalty, yellow card, whatever. That's the kind of player you want, and Defoe isn't that player yet. He just isn't a box striker. He played very well yesterday, and that's good. There's better defenders, they won't allow him to do that. 4 points from, 8 points from a maximum of 12, 66%, that's a great return. If you look at how Chelsea have done, how Arsenal done, Man U, Man City, they haven't done as well as we have. I think we've done, won all our home games, which is what you can do. And we won a home game, drew an away game, won 2 games. Obviously it would be nice to have beaten Chelsea, but it just didn't happen. And to be fair, I think the result was a fair result. Again, Swansea the same thing, but we've got 8 points from a maximum of 12. We've got 42 points. And if we can get another 28 points, there's 19 games left. So that's how good my maths is. That's 60 more points. I don't think we'll get 100 points. 60, 57 points. Will we get 57? I very much doubt it. But if we can get 30 out of 57 points, if we win half our games, then almost just over half our games we can be 72 points. That's top. That must be at least top 4. I don't know any team that's got 72 points that hasn't finished in top 4. So definitely, yeah. And again, thank you very much for your comments. I really appreciate them, and I'm sorry if I wasn't able to answer to each one of you individually, and if I've confused your names a little bit. But original YT name, Major Hank 1 and P John, thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it, and definitely it makes me much better in terms of the commentary I give. So thank you very much. So you guys know, big shouts out, and if you so hopefully, and definitely check out spursfrom.co.uk, topspurs.com, and Spurs Odyssey. And first of all, I want to say to the guy I think there's a fan last night who died. He had a heart attack. He was 81, and he unfortunately passed away of a heart attack. And so my condolences out to his family. May he rest in peace. And I really hope the club do something to mark this guy, because the guy was there at a Spurs game, a Spurs fan at a Spurs game at home. We should, as a club, should say, you know what, acknowledge him, saying, you know what, he did come and he died, unfortunately. And let's, have some black armbands, a pitch saying, rest in peace, a lot of minutes of applause, something just to acknowledge that, because otherwise all we do is limit ourselves. We're just numbers. We're just people we're just cash points to them, which maybe we are. I like to think we're more than just cash points to them. So anyway, that's a bit of controversy from me, but I think we should acknowledge this poor guy who did die. I think he was 81, and he was at a Spurs game. So hopefully we're winning at that point, and hopefully he saw his team, who he obviously really enjoyed, and saw them winning, and hopefully that's a memory that if he died that way, I'm hoping he died with a bit of peace and like I said, my heart goes out to his family. Anyway, take care and come on, you Spurs.